Okay, and they've already forgotten how to work the YouTube. It says video available on the YouTube. I don't know why. Let's do a check again. Okay, it says video unavailable. So I'm going to start once again. Okay, this is about the live stream.
It's showing up on YouTube.
Is it showing with the video?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay, because I thought I switched it off.
Yeah. I can see it. It's on.
Oh, you can see it?
Yeah.
Let me take a look. Okay, so then I won't take a look and we will just move forward with that. And because I can't see it and I actually can't even see where we are on YouTube.
Zoom पे भी आ जाता है कि YouTube live चालू है.
That is correct. Okay, give me a minute just to check then. Okay. Recording. Oh yeah, it does say it's on.
Yeah, it says recording live.
I have it on YouTube on. It's showing whatever you're saying.
Okay, wonderful. All right, fabulous. Wonderful then. Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you. So let's say hellos to a few people. Hi, Darshan and Nalini and Chitrani, Akshita, a few new people, and Deepika and Pragati and Darshana, Shilpa, Anupama, Deepak, Nidhi, Gitanjali, hi Shabnam, hi Navneet, oh nice to see you after a long time. Hi Amit and Mitali and Preeti and many more. Abhilasha, Reena, Triveni, Pallavi, hello, nice people, nice to see you. All new people over here, Anju and Yo-Yo, Mayuri, Sushi, Soumya, Praveen, Ritu, and a few others who are still joining. So hello Surinder, hi Pooja, hello everyone. And now we begin with the new session on some more journaling. So a very warm welcome to all of you. Just to remind you, journaling is not a weekly activity or a fortnightly activity. Journaling is pretty much a daily activity. So we have been doing these journaling sessions just to put a little bit more focus on you, a little bit more releasing of whatever is staying hidden, which we haven't looked at. So we pick up words, we pick up phrases, we pick up concepts, ideas, belief systems, and now we are pretty much doing journaling on those. So let's pick up today's topic. And today's topic in a minute is going to be, let me share the screen. Okay, sharing the screen here. Okay, everyone, can everybody see the screen as is right now with the cover on?
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much. And now we move forward. So today's topic, pay attention to the word loss. The word loss. Look back at your whole life and begin to write about all the places where you have experienced the feeling of loss. The feeling of loss. Okay. So as you go back and simply ask in the universe, okay, what all do I need to see today in terms of loss? I will give you a few examples over here where you can look at yourself from the perspective of loss. Loss of a loved one. It could be death, it could be separation. Separation we get from relationships when we let go of some relationships. It could also be the loss of a body part. The body part would be the loss of a loved one, your loved body part. So sometimes if you get to lose a body part, then that loss of a body part, when you sometimes get to lose health, then also that is the loss that you would look at under over here. And loss of a person through death. Yeah. So those are the places where we experience so much of loss. And so think about all the places where you have experienced this feeling of loss, sometimes for a parent, a spouse, a child, a loved one, a sibling, a friend, separation, again, in a relationship, the separation that you feel, the loss of a loved one. Monetary loss or loss of something valuable. When you have felt that monetary loss, not knowing what to do, where to go, feeling totally out of depth, monetary loss in a business, at workplace, sometimes from a theft, somebody steals from you, and then you have a monetary loss, looking at that monetary loss. Loss of name, loss of face. When situations happen where you are completely at a loss of your own face, you've done something and now you are caught and you have a loss of face. You don't know how to face the world. Your name is now in the mud. Loss of name, loss of face. Loss of trust. You've trusted someone and they have come and stabbed you in the back. And now you completely don't trust them. Loss of confidence, either in the self or in someone else or in a relationship. If you have felt the loss of confidence, you trusted that your father would behave a certain way, your mother would behave a certain way, and then they completely broke your trust. You had a loss of trust in them, loss of confidence in them. Sometimes you yourself thought something would pan out in a certain way. You worked towards it, you were confident of something, and then it didn't happen that way. Loss of confidence in the self, in the universe around you. Loss of independence. Have you ever felt that you are losing or have lost your independence? It could be in a place that, in a relationship that you get married and suddenly you had a different scenario before marriage and now it is a completely different scenario and you feel that you have lost a part of you, a part of your identity. You have lost your independence. Or otherwise, it could also be that you are unable to do things that you were able to do before, maybe through the loss of body agility, some things that you could do before with your body. Now you are unable to do those things and you are fearing this loss of independence. Right now, you can move from one place to another, you can walk, and suddenly you are starting to feel that no, walking is now a problem. Seeing is now a problem. You are now starting to lose your eyesight, lose your hearing. Doctors are saying that you have this condition and that condition, losing your memory. And from that space, also, you can begin to lose your independence. So, loss of independence, loss of hope. When nothing seems to be working for you, when you've tried your very best and it is not looking like the universe is playing in your favor. You can't see that anymore, that the universe is playing in your favor. You can't understand that. And you're sitting in this place of loss of hope. These are just some of the examples, some of the ways that you can look at the word loss. So now, give it a few moments. Write down all the places where you might have experienced this loss. Simply look at all those places and pay attention to the emotions. Category of emotions. What emotions did you feel then? And as you look back at that event, you might be a few years from that place, but when you think of that event, what emotions are you feeling now? And then again, if it happens to be an anticipated loss, that you might be about to lose something, someone, you might have a loss of trust if you are imagining that right now. Then again, what emotions are you feeling now for that future that you are looking at? There might be a few events, there might be more than a few events. Go each line by line. Loss of a loved one, monetary loss, loss of face, loss of trust, loss of independence, and if you have ever felt the loss of hope. Ask in the universe, take me to all the places where I need to go today to clear out some of those layers. Whatever comes to mind, look at those events, those stories, and simply focus on the emotions. Emotions of then, now, and emotions towards the future. Recognize, now that we are looking at some of those events, recognize that grief is the key emotion when we experience loss. The key emotion is that of intense sorrow, intense sadness. No matter what the loss looks like, any of the categories that it might belong to. The key emotion is grief. You might also then experience anger or frustration from any of those places, loss of a body part. You might even then start to put the blame on someone outside for creating this loss. And then you might even be sitting in numbness as a coping mechanism for the loss. Numbness, when you do not react to it, but it is still there. The grief exists and you haven't reacted. You haven't looked at it fully. You haven't even considered it fully. And so this hidden part of grief would be through the numbness that you would put up a coping mechanism. So recognize, in any of those places, did you have another emotion? Fear. Fear would also happen when you go through a loss, fear of the future. You lose a body part or you lose a parent. You lose a strong support. You lose your independence, then fear for the future. At this point, when you look back at any of those events, ask yourself, are you experiencing tears? When you look back at any of those moments where you felt this extreme grief, expressed or unexpressed, that sorrow, that sadness, the anger, even the fear, at this point right now, when you look back at those places, are you experiencing tears? If you are, again, simply look at the underlying emotion of the tears. Whenever there are tears, it is just an intensity of the emotion that is creating those tears. The emotion is a frequency, but if it has not been processed then, it might bring you to a place of wanting to process now. And it will bring you tears. Every emotion you can experience tears in. Tears happen in joy, tears happen in sadness, tears happen in anger, in frustration, and of course, tears even happen at this loss, this feeling of grief. If you are experiencing a little bit of tearful moment for yourself, in this moment, not to ignore it, but to observe it, if you can see what the underlying emotion is. Simply make a note of it, just as you have been recognizing the other emotions: sorrow, sadness, anger, frustration, numbness, fear, maybe lack. Whatever it is that you have put down as your emotions, even for the tears, because the tears are telling you what frequency needs to be looked into a little bit more. What is bubbling up on the surface? If you are not able to figure out where these tears are coming from, simply ask to the universe, ask money. What emotion is underlying these tears? You will receive some answer. Don't question it. Simply note it down. And if no answer at all, that is also okay. Simply understand that yes, you might still be sitting in numbness, that coping mechanism. It's okay. Now to look at all of these events that you have written for losses and ask, what is the reason that you experience these emotions? What is the reason underlying that you experience the grief, the sorrow, the sadness, the frustration, the fear? Why do you notice these emotions? Why do you experience these emotions? And I will give you the answer, and you can go and look at every event and see if the answer resonates or if it is something different. The reason why we experience grief, attachment to a thing, a person as yours, even our own body part. Of course, it is mine. It is my hand, my leg. Have you ever foreseen an accident? No, never. And then when there is a loss of that body part, your body part is gone. And a lot of the pain arises from being able to not detach from that experience, but to be able to still look at that as a hand that needs to be attached to the body. A loved one, when you experience separation, my father, and my father is that which is attached to me as mine. So, attachment to a thing or a person as yours. When that moves away, this is my money in my bank, and the bank might fail tomorrow. Loss of all your savings might happen tomorrow. My money sitting in that bank, my money is where the grief comes in from. So attachment to a thing or person as yours. So, wherever you have listed down your losses, take a look at that one thing that you named as yours. A husband that you named as yours, and the husband moved away, causing you to experience the grief. The name that you thought was yours, the reputation that you thought was yours, something brought it down. It might be something that happened, something that you did, and something that you didn't even do. But the loss of face, because the name, the face, is yours. Loss of trust. How can someone do this to you? How can someone that you trusted do this to you? This is your closest friend, your confidant. How can they do it to you? This is your father. How can he do this to you? This is your mother. How can she do this to you? Your father, your mother, naming something as yours. And then expectations of how things should work out in life. Expectations. Our expectations that the father should live longer than the life meant out, that the child should live longer than the parent. That is just an expectation of ours. The child's energy is deciding their path. However, when we have expectations of what somebody else's life should look like, or for that matter, even our own life, how things should work out in our lives. I have really worked hard for this, and so I should bear the fruit of this. Because I have worked hard, so this should be mine. And when it is not yours, loss of confidence, loss of trust in the giving universe itself. When you don't get things as per your expectations. Loss of hope. When you don't get things and you have worked hard for it and you don't get it because you are thinking that there is a direct connection between how hard you work and what comes to you. So, expectations of what you have done, my hard work, should bring me these results. Expectations that you have from yourself, from the universe, when they are not met and you experience loss, grief, intense sadness is the emotion. So, to each of the events that you have written out, I hope that you are looking at your life, marking the emotions, and also the actors where you created attachment. The actors where you created expectations. So, to understand that the entire grief is simply the setup of a stage, we go through the grief only when these two situations happen, when we have marked something as ours, and that thing then doesn't match up to the expectations that we have. That is the place grief is created. Extreme sadness, extreme sorrow from that space. from that which is mine and is not now showing to be mine. A husband that belongs to me, a child that belongs to me, a career, a job, a business, a friend that belongs to me. This sense of belonging, when broken, that will put us into this extreme sadness. So now, moving ahead. So far, any questions by anyone? I have not done the Hindi version of this, but anybody who wishes to do the Hindi version, please reach out to me. I will put some slides over there that you can look at and process this webinar. Okay, sharing once again. And now, ask yourself in this space, are you able to thank the actors, the ones that you have marked, whether a person or a thing, for bringing the awareness of the emotions to you? If the actor is a person, are you able to hug the person in the energies? If the actor is an event, are you able to hug all the persons related to the event? Mark this, that you don't have to force yourself to come to this place of thankfulness. Simply note down, if you are thankful, then it would be easy to hug. And if you are not thankful, come back to this space another day. Process it again. For the actor, for the event, process it again. As always, the outside is simply the manifested space. The inside is what is creating. The energy is what is creating the situations on the outside. And so, if you are out there blaming someone, then know that the finger is outside. If you are able to hug that someone, then know that the finger in this moment is within. So now, whatever you have written out on those sheets, it is time to process those events, mostly those emotions. From the expectations and attachments, a lot of hurt, disappointment might have been created. To know that disappointment is just a frequency, but it is sitting in you, then it needs to create all of these scenarios. All of these scenarios need to be created just so that you can experience the hurt and disappointment. So where all have you built up your expectation? Where all have you got attached? Take a look, because that is the place of creation of hurt and disappointment. As I remind everyone every day, expectations are created every single day. Attachments are created every single day. We are in the body. We are in the body. Polarity is our first nature. Separation is our first nature. Attachment, expectation, outcomes, clinging to outcomes is our first nature. And so It is only through awareness that we can look at all of these places and process. That becomes our close second nature, but it will continue to remain our second nature. So this time, as we go through the journaling process, I have been putting more attention, or rather giving you more attention to walk through the emotion rather than be in a rush to change the emotion. And that is why, rather than be in a rush to move to joy frequency, we walk through the disappointment, we walk through the hurt, observing the hurt. Not running to change the hurt, but observing the hurt. The change is already happening. However, we are completing the experience of hurt, being fully aware that it is just a frequency. Hurt no longer has the hold on us when we recognize it is just a frequency that has come to play today. And that is the space that we are focusing on these days through this journaling module. Time to process and let go of sadness. Once again, processing of sadness, not by running away from sadness, but fully sitting in the experience of sadness, knowing, reminding yourself that this is sadness. This is what it looks like, and this is my experience of the now. In the now, sadness has come to be experienced. Okay, let me sit through it. Not run, not even be in a rush to change it. First, to fully accept sadness as just a frequency. Fears are first nature. Earth is the place of experiencing fear. And yet, through awareness, becoming aware only of one thing, it might have come to be experienced, but it is just a frequency. Through all of these, each of these processing, when you remind yourself that the universe is a giving universe, however, it can only give where your focus is. The universe is a giving universe of your reflections. So where will you put your focus on? On sadness, on fear, or on awareness? On awareness that this too is just a frequency. Anger, frustration, just a frequency. Lack, again arising from fear itself. Just a frequency. Take a deep breath in. I take energy from me. Meenal. I take energy from Meenal. I am Meenal. Going back to all those events where you felt the losses and simply being able to process those emotions through surrender. Surrender is just a frequency, but Meenal frequency plays in surrender. So allowing yourself now, having observed your frequencies, it is just a frequency. There is nothing to that, And also, there is nothing to surrender to. Everything is just a shift from one moment to another. So if surrender isn't happening right now, it is okay. Sit in any of these emotions that you are feeling, whether it is hurt or sadness or fear. Whatever those events are bringing back to you, simply sit and observe. And whenever you are ready, only then I take energy from Meenal. I will sit in sadness, but from the frequency of Meenal. I am aware of my sadness as I sit in the frequency of Meenal. I will go through this experience while sitting in the frequency of Meenal. Only because this frequency brings you so much of heightened awareness. And the game of shifting is only through awareness. And so I take energy from Meenal. I am Meenal. And then read these lines a few times. I am the vessel holding these emotions. I am the creator of these emotions. This is my experience through a concept called mine. This is mine and this is not mine, is a concept. And from that concept, this is my child, this is my school, this is my work, this is my parent, this is my husband, this is my bank account, this is my car. Through this concept called mine, I create experiences. There is nothing that is mine. The idea of someone or something being mine is here to create the experience of sadness in me as I process the loss. The loss of that which is mine. The experience of the loss creates the sadness in me. Since it is just a frequency, I allow the emotion. It is just an emotion. It is also okay for me to experience this emotion again. When it comes back to you again, because expectations and attachments are daily things, daily processes, and we don't remember. And that's okay to not remember as well. This is earth. These are our experiences. But an emotion, a frequency, neither breaks me nor makes me. It is just a frequency. It is just an experience. Take a deep breath in and give yourself a beautiful hug of unconditional love. That trust of yours which was broken had nothing to do with another. It is the trust that you didn't have in yourself. And so this experience tells you to put more trust on yourself. And so putting all of the trust on yourself and therefore in the universe. The universe that is the reflecting universe. Give yourself a beautiful hug. Sit in the hug, mind completely empty in this moment, feeling only the love connecting with the heart, only the connection with the heart in this moment. There is no other, only you and your reflections. There is no other. In your universe, only you and your reflections. So, what are you ready to celebrate in this moment? In this moment, I feel like a winner. In this moment, I feel like a winner because sit in this space of amazing grace. Oh, Mani, oh, Mani, oh, Mani. Okay, everyone, lots and lots of love to all of you. See you guys next time. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank
Lots and lots of
Thank you so
love
much.
to everyone.